Now let's look at a dictionary client, another very useful and common application of symbol tables. So in this case, we're going to write a client called lookupcsv that is going to take 3 arguments. The first will be a file name, a so-called comma-separated value file, and the next 2 arguments are integers, which will tell us what to treat as keys and values in the file. In this example, our CSV file relates URLs to IP addresses. So each line has a URL and an IP address, and they're separated by commas. And in general, a CSV file might have many fields separated by commas. So we number them 0, 1, and so forth, starting from the left. So what we are going to do with this client is specify with integers which field is the key and which is the value. So if we call this client with the second argument 0 and third argument 1, that means we want to use the URL, field 0 in the CSV file, as the key, and we want to use the IP address, that's field 1 in the CSV, as the value. We want to associate keys with values. So the client will build a symbol table that makes those associations for every line in the file, and this could be a huge file. And then if we want to look up the IP address associated with a given URL, we can just type in URLs and the client will return the IP address. It'll do the lookup. So adobe.com has got this IP address as shown as this line here in the table and so forth. Princeton.edu has this, and ebay.edu is not in the file. Now, on the other hand, we could, from this same file, we could build a symbol table where we treat the IP address as the key and the URL as the value. So in that case, it'll build a symbol table with IP addresses as keys, and we can type in an IP address and get the associated URL. So with one client, we can handle lookups of all kinds in CSV files. For example, here's another CSV file that from biology that deals with amino acids and codons and names. So in this case, the first field is 3 letters from a DNA sequence, which represents a codon, and certain codons have the names. That's the amino acid. So TCC is called serine and so forth. And that's an association that's well known to biologists. And then you can use this lookup CSV client to quickly get the name associated with any given codon. And that's just another simple example. This is a very general tool. Any CSV file, you can pick any field as the key and any other field as the value. So here's still another example where we might use for a class list, which has the person's year of graduation, last name, first name, precept name, and login name. And so in the first call over here, we might use the login name as the key and the first name as the value. So we type in somebody's login name, we get their first name. And again, with the same client, log in as key and get the section as a value. So all kinds of information processing that we might need to do for large amounts of data represented in comma-separated value files. This one client, which is based on a symbol table, will provide useful functionality. And here's the implementation. There's very little to it, given the symbol table API that we've articulated and the implementations that we have. So what do we do to get lookup CSV implemented? Well, first thing is to set up the input stream from the first argument, so that's our input file, and then get the numbers of the fields, so the key and the value, and now build a symbol table that associates strings with strings. Then there's a while loop where we just read a new line, read line, and then split according to comma into tokens in an array. And then the index in the array is going to be the fields that we're going to use. So the key is the string in the key field entry of the array, and the value is the string in the val field entry in the array, and we simply put that in the symbol table. So this while loop just builds the symbol table from the file. Then from standard input, we take queries, just read a string, check if the symbol table contains the string. If it doesn't, print not found, and if it does, print the value associated with the key. So a very small amount of code based on our symbol table implementation that gives us the dictionary functionality.